I saw a very interesting video of Mbuyiseni from the EFF speaking at a church, and there was something that he said that I know has been made extremely popular. But tomorrow we will be discussing it on a live stream. So come through, let's have a chat about this particular subject. It is a very sensitive subject in the sense that there is a lot of thoughts that go here and that go there. And so come through with your verses, but I want you guys to hear what Mbuyiseni actually says here. So when I remember that tomorrow we have the live stream, I remembered this video. I'd seen it in a while, but listen to what he was saying.
Means of my oppression. Your hatred of me does not matter. Yeah? You hating me, I don't care what you think about me.
Come on.
Until
Come on.
that which you think about me blocks a road for me to go to school.
Okay, of course, that's a very political way of thinking about things. But also, I should care if what you are telling me corrects something that I might be ignorant to. Okay, so if I'm corrected in a certain area, I should be concerned about what I'm being told because it might be true, but it might hold true. But there's another thing that he says here that I want. Because you think I'm ugly,
my shoes,
what you think?
What you think of my lips, what you think of my hair, what you think of my hips, what you think of my height. I don't care. What matters is what I think about myself.
This is the thought line of what we are talking about. As a man thinks, so is he. And so there is a lot that goes on about this particular subject or about this particular topic. A lot of times we just leave it at that to say, you know what, if I think a certain way about myself, all is good. Like the way he's saying it right now, right? But there is a lot of work that goes into that. I think the best approach is to think of this. When the Bible says, my thoughts are not your thoughts, that's more in the line that allows us to think along the lines of what the Bible says, because then we start to think of ourselves as God thinks of us. This makes us approachable. It makes us humbled because I'm more willing to listen. I'm not always right. Someone else might have the answer to the thing that I'm in struggle about. But if what only matters is what I think about me, there's no room for that, right? Even if they're right. But when he says, I have thoughts for you in Jeremiah, right? Thoughts of good, thoughts to prosper you. And so if you think about that he has thoughts about us or thoughts to prosper us and whatnot, and you think about that verse that says, my thoughts are not your thoughts, these verses bring a humble approach towards this subject because it makes us more open to what others' advice might be. But if I'm just thinking that I'm right and it doesn't matter what another person says, it dismisses that. Now, in this video, someone might think, oh, Ricky, it's just a bit of an attack on. No, it's not. It's very popular thinking, like in motivational speaking, it's very popular thinking, even in motivational preaching. But how far on the biblical time frame or time scale is it? Like if you think about this particular other verse here that I was kind of like looking up here. It says, for I will not cast away my people. So remember, he has a thoughts that he has for us, and thoughts of good, not to put us to damnation, right? That's number one. Number two, our thoughts are not his thoughts. So if you're thinking about these particular two lines, and then you bring this one which says, I will not cast off God will not cast off his people, and nor will he forsake his inheritance. That's Psalms 94 verse 14. So he has me in benefit. He has me as his inheritance. So when he talks about his inheritance there, that is me. Now, if you also remember what John says about himself, speaking about towards what Jesus was to him, he says, the disciple whom Jesus loved. And if you could actually refer back to other verses as well, where it says, not that we loved God, but that he loved us while we were yet sinners. Meaning, while we still held a wrong moral perspective, God yet loved us. So, God is way ahead of us when it comes to what thoughts to hold about ourselves. It's not just thoughts of positivity that I must have about myself, but it's more thoughts that he has in my benefit. And so that's the subject that we're going to be tackling on, because it's very easy for a self-motivated person to see that without seeing the thoughts of God. But it's much easier for us to think we are to adopt the way God thinks of us. Okay? Even when Paul is encouraging believers in Hebrews number 10, it's not that they're forgotten, but we're going to talk about that tomorrow. It's not that they're forgotten. But it's more of a reminder. Even later on, he repeats it. He says, to repeat something to you guys, it's not grievous. It's more beneficial that you have something repeated. But people just expect, no, I tell you this, you're supposed to just get it. And sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes there is a process to it. But this thing here, if I'm not self-motivated and you are thinking, my thoughts are the ones that count, that's why people do away with themselves. It's because it's my thoughts that I'm holding about myself. My value has gone all the way down as the way I look at myself. And so what value is there? But if I hold his thoughts, I don't know if you get me. But anyways, we're going to talk about that in tomorrow. I thought this video was a good introduction so that we can start from there. And then tomorrow, you know, the direction I think is very beneficial, particularly about this subject. It's God's thoughts we should have. Not just, I'm positive, I must think positive things about myself. Because if that's what it is, you can think positive thoughts about yourself, which are wrong. But then if we're thinking God's thoughts about us, it makes us humble in approaching life in every day. We can take correction. We can take it when people tell us we are wrong in one area. It doesn't offend us because it's God's thoughts at the end of the day that I am more mindful of. It's Ricky. Yeah, tell me what you think. But tomorrow we'll further that particular subject. Be there and I'll see you there.